Welcome everyone. My name is Rosie and I am the calligrapher behind Wondercrafter. I'm also the creator of the Craft Academy, where we actually help calligraphers turn their passions into profit. Just using the methods of the Craft Academy, we've been able to transform so many calligraphers' lives and turn their non-profitable businesses from being stuck and really frustrated into a flourishing business. And today we have Michelle. Do you want to do a quick introduction?
Thank you, Rosie, for having me here. My name is Michelle, or you can call me Michi. I'm the calligrapher and artist behind Michi Letters, and I am from Honduras. So excuse my English a little bit. And I live in Germany. I'm going on live events throughout Germany for brand activations.
And just for everyone's information, Michelle speaks 3 languages, Spanish, German, and English. So she is multi-talented and so smart. And she's one of the kindest calligraphers that we have in the group, and really excited to have her. The main theme of today's conversation is actually Etsy and why we should avoid it. So we'll give you a couple of reasons why we should avoid Etsy altogether, but we'll also give you some tactical advice onto what you should do instead. So there is a right and a wrong way to do Etsy. And I think Michelle and I can speak to both of our experiences that we did Etsy the wrong way. So hopefully our advice will give you some insight into what you should do if you're going to do Etsy in the first place. So as far as today's transformation, Michelle actually had an Etsy shop way back in the day. Remind us, when did you start your calligraphy business?
Etsy, I started in 2018, and calligraphy, I started in 2020. But I have a background of online shops since 2013, and it was in a sort of like Etsy platform in Germany, but it sold to Etsy, and that's why I had to start in Etsy, saying all over again in 2018. In 2020, I discovered calligraphy and I added to my business in 2020. 2018, I started with calligraphy, but as a therapy. It was more like I was in grief and it was like a therapy. And when COVID came, and then I saw Instagram scrolling and all these business opportunities with calligraphy, I thought I will integrate it into my Etsy shop. And then engraving came in 2021, events in 2022.
Yeah. And then when did you join the Craft Academy?
I joined it for 1 year.
I want to say it was April?
Yeah, I think end of March
of 2022.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and we did end up meeting in person when I went to Germany last year, so that was awesome.
Yes. It was too short. You came too short.
I know. Like we had one dinner and then that was it. Well, we also went out for drinks that night, but we were like all falling asleep. Give us a brief rundown. Are you comfortable sharing numbers today?
I can try, but I've forgotten. I don't have specific numbers, but so go on average.
I do have notes from when we first chatted last year. If you're okay with it, I can share those numbers.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. So today's transformation is awesome because we have Michelle from Germany who used our methodology to transform her calligraphy business from $32,000 over 1 year. But she was also working about 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Safe to say she didn't really have that work-life balance. Not to mention she also has 2 kids and a husband. So there were things that, she was definitely sacrificing a lot of, and now, she's been able to really transform her life. She's closed her Etsy shop and now she's her own boss and she's starting her own very new chapter in so many new ways. And we're really excited to kind of dive into that. So now she's actually been working for amazing brands like Hermés, Karl Lagerfeld, Inicio, Marc Antoine Barres, and 2787. Which is super amazing. So give us a quick and dirty story on how you got started with your entrepreneurship.
My family came from a family of entrepreneurs. I came to Germany. I have a background in architecture, so the creative part, it's always been there for me. And when I came to Germany, I have my 3 kids and I decided I have to do something creative and have my online shop, taking care of my kids at home. And that's how, let's talk about Etsy 2018. Yeah, that's how I started with custom. I had already a branding. I had a logo, I had a name. It was Crafts and Deco. And I had my niche into, it was more weddings, occasions. communions and weddings, no Christmas time. So I was very focused on that. And I must say, I did work too much. I was working from 8 to 11 every day, even Sundays. And in 3 years that I was in Etsy, I didn't close my shop, not even in vacations. I would take orders in vacations and then come back and have 200 orders. I had to ship them in 2 weeks. It was really crazy. It was too much. I feel I was failing my children. I was trying so hard. I got a very good feedback from the customers. I have to say, I sold a lot and I got a lot of reviews. So that kept me like up. But reviews don't pay my bills, you know? So it was like crazy. I was working too much. That's how I knew I was doing something wrong. I needed a guidance.
That must have been really hard for you. And I love that you said that reviews don't pay the bills. We get asked to work for free all the time. And unfortunately, products don't pay the bills either. So I love that you said that. And that's such a really, good point to kind of bring home. Mm-hmm. Was it hard for you to close down your Etsy shop after having it for 3+ years?
I was honest with you. I didn't want to have a product-based business anymore because I was tired. I was packing most of the time. It was more packing and shipping than creating. When I discovered you and TCA and all these events, I was like, I want to do this. And you from the beginning said either you have to niche down your products, raise your prices, or you close down Etsy. It was so hard for me because it's very hard to let go of something. But I started by saying no to all the small orders that were coming in. I felt so good when I said no. And it took me a few months. And I remember I would come in the coaching calls and I would close my Etsy shop before. And I would say, I closed Etsy, so that you would be proud of me. But then we would hang up and then I would be like, oh my God, I need this income. And I would open it again and raise the prices. But then I remember this in September, I was scrolling in Instagram and there was this life coach that I always listen to in Spanish. And then he said, if you have a coach, just do what she tells you to do. And I said, okay. I had to listen to Rosie, and Rosie told me from the beginning, you have to close Etsy, because I wanted to concentrate on the events, live events, and other ideal clients. And I put a date and I said, okay, I'm listening. And then I said, October, no more Etsy. And that's how I did it. I closed it. It was the best feeling ever. From that day, I must say October for me, now my life changed. And I have this date, like October, until today, my well-being, personal life and private life, it's amazing.
When you're spending 15 hours a day in the office, away from your kids, away from your husband, away from the other life things that you can do, that's a huge impact. The amount of time that you're saving and then now spending it with your loved ones makes a huge difference, right?
No, I was very isolated. When COVID came, I was like, well, I've been isolated it wasn't like anything new for me because I was already isolated because of my shops, and I was just working and packing and working and packing. And that's what my life. I had no social life. I didn't play with my kids anymore. And ever since October, now I have time for myself. I walk my dog every day, 1.5 hours. In the woods, and this is like the most precious time. It's the time that I worship God and I do really my me time. And it's all thanks to you.
Oh my gosh, that means so much. Time is the most precious thing that we have as humans. Yes. You can't buy more time. You can't exchange more time. You can't get the time back. Time is our number one revenue as humans.
Yes.
And
definitely.
The way that you spend it speaks highly to you, kind of explains who you are as a human being. And if you're spending 15 hours in an office away from everything that's important to you, I don't know if I would consider that living, especially if you're only making $32,000 or pounds per year. And on top of that, like there's still fees involved, right? That's just revenue. It's not profit, right? And I'm going to guess as a physical-based business, you were probably making about 50% profit. So we can even cut that down. 16,000 pounds a year, spending all day, every day in the office. It's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. And it sounds to me that now you have that work-life balance that you've been craving for, and you ultimately feel like much lighter, much more free.
Completely.
To spend time walking your dog for 90 minutes a day, which it just sounds like such a dream.
My children, before I was always like, I have no time. I was grumpy mother, And I know they knew I was trying hard. I've always been loving to my children, but this I have no time thing was really hitting me. And now we laugh. They're teenagers and we are laughing the whole day, and it's just precious. I'm so grateful that I closed Etsy. The best decision.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
It's not even about financial. Of course, we all want financial freedom.
Yeah.
And that's my aim. And that's what I want to work more for. But for me, it was first the personal and private, the time, time, like you said, is precious. And having a product-based business, you have to know that you cannot do it all by yourself. And that was my mistake. I didn't want to hire anybody because I thought I was the one doing it. I want to do it. I want to make sure that everything is perfect. And that was one of the big mistakes.
Yeah. So just for everyone else who's watching, can you get into a little bit of the details on what you were selling and what the price point was?
Yes, I was selling custom stickers and decals, decals and welcome signs for weddings and table numbers. And it was fun. And that is the problem with the artist when you start, because it's so much fun for you or it's easy to do, then you don't price too high. So I was just working and it was fun. I love what I do. Every order come in, I would take it, and Etsy is like this. And interacting with the customers was a little bit also nice, very nice. I love my customers a lot, but the mistakes in Etsy. Pricing.
Okay, so let's jump into that a little bit. So we'll kind of break this into chunks. So I think our number one mistake is pricing with Etsy, right? And I can definitely concur to that. Even though Etsy is the perfect way to kickstart your creative business, it's also one of the worst ways too. And we're going to get into the reasons why based on both of our experiences. So I actually also started off on Etsy. We sold cake toppers and signs, banners, all the other, physical products that I've tried in the past. Etsy really does become a really quick way to cheapen your product on the market because everyone is price competing. Every single person is trying to be the cheapest person on Etsy. And that is the main reason why Etsy is not profitable for sellers. On top of that, you're also competing against other people around the world who are just trying to make a quick dollar. These could be people just like starting off as a hobby and trying out to see if they can even sell something. And so they'll sell a place card for, $1.50 or something like that. And we'll get into the numbers in a little bit, but you'll learn very quickly that that's not a great way to run your business because it's not profitable. Instead, your goal should be to try to provide luxury work and experiences for the client so that you can make a little bit more and be more valued as an artist. I actually wanted to break down the numbers for you a little bit. And these are actually real numbers in real time. I did a little bit of research prior to this call. When you look up handwritten place card on Etsy, you'll actually find a range of $1.50 to $3.25 per card. So we can average that out to maybe $2 per card, just for easy math. This is actually a real life case study as well from Jessica. She's one of the original members of the Craft Academy from 2 years ago, and she was also doing the same mistake. And so these are real numbers from real people. And now it's still kind of the same as when we started 2 years ago. So we'll definitely run into that. So let's just pretend that the average of a place card is $2. If you subtract the 3% fee along with a 25-cent credit card fee, that's 31 cents. This is not something that you can avoid anywhere. Even if you have your own website, even if you sell on Shopify or any other retailers, that's the credit card fee. So that's something that you'll have to eat up as a business owner anyway. So just kind of take that as it is, 31 cents. For the transaction for a $2 place card. Now, on top of that, Etsy does charge a 6.5% fee, which comes out to about 13 cents total. The listing fee that Etsy charges is also 20 cents per place card. So if you're only selling one card and people buy 100, you're paying $20 with just the listing fee by itself. So that already cuts into your profit again. That's just the fees that you would have to pay on Etsy regardless, right? Now let's consider the physical product side of it and how much that's actually going to cost you for supplies. So the card itself could probably cost anywhere from 10 to 15 cents. So, and along with that, you're paying for your supplies, your pen, your nib, your ink. So let's just say that's like 25 cents on average for one place card. So when you run all the math and add it all together, that comes out to about $1.04 in just fees for a $2 place card. That's about 96% profit for one card that probably took you 2 minutes to write. So let's just say again, it's 96 cents for 2 minutes that you're getting paid for. That's about,
And one more thing,
about $30. Yeah.
Etsy also then comes another, they have fees for every transaction. You know, it's not only the credit card, it's the shipping. They also make a fee there for all the shipping. And if you go over 10,000 selling, then you get a 15% for offsite ads, which you don't get to choose. They choose the products. And they just send you the bill of this 15% that you got sold because of their offsite ads, you know, and this was like another fee. It's not only the listing, it's not only the commission they get per item sold, it's the, like you said, the credit card or the payment method, then the shipping, they also get a fee there, and the ads fee, which you're not signed in. It's obligatory. It's obligation.
So it's a lot of fees. It's a lot of fees. So your profit is probably, I'm just going to say 75-cent profit then for like one card, which is absolutely insane. It's really hard to make an income from, you know, these types of products on Etsy, but let's not make it super daunting for everyone who's watching. If you were to reprice your products, your stickers, your decals, your wedding items, how would you price yours?
If I'm starting, like if I go back and I would start, I would definitely not compare myself to the other, because you don't know, like you say, some are doing just for hobby. I would really take out the costs and price it as I would really earn a good margin. And also I would think of a strategy, not in the long term, because if you're a product-based business, you're going to grow. You have to think that suddenly it take long, or suddenly you can sell so much that you're going to need a space, you know, to rent, or you're going to have to hire somebody. And if your prices are too low, then how are you going to add that so fast to your price? Right. So you have to consider a lot of future costs that maybe at the time it's not costing you, but you already have to include them. I would definitely do it. And for example, in my case, the German law states for small business, there's a limited margin. If you pass that, then you're not a small business anymore, and you have to start charging the sales tax that it's 19%. And I didn't calculate that because I didn't think in 1 year I would sell so much. And I did. And then my accountant said, you have to charge 19% more. And I was like struggling. How do I add 19% to my price? People are going to be like, no, that, you know, and then I had to explain to my customers. And honestly, if you do a good job and you are good at your work, don't be afraid to price. People are going to buy you. It doesn't matter if there's cheaper people in the market. People, if they like what you do, they're going to pay the price. And actually also that's a mic drop moment right there, by the way. That's such a good statement. When you sell cheap, people don't trust. That is a thing. It's a mindset, you know, and a lot of people, we're humans, and we know that when we pay a high price for something, it shows quality, you know, and it's like this. And I struggle a lot with that, because I said, no, but for me, it's so easy, and it doesn't matter all these fees and all this. No, it's quality. So you have to value your time. Yeah, that's so much like pricing becomes a mindset issue, right? Yeah. Like for us, because we're creatives and it's easy for us, it comes to us naturally, we tend to discount ourselves and our skill set to reduce the price so that it's more affordable or more accessible for people. But when you do increase that rate, you start to attract your ideal client, someone who is willing to pay a bigger budget for your skills and services, and they'll also value your work much better than if you were to give it to someone for a quarter of the price. Yes. And also another thing in Etsy, a mistake I made was the rush express. I was comparing myself to Amazon. I wanted to deliver everything the next day. I was like, customer satisfaction for me was like 100%. I'm like this, but I didn't charge express, you know, and that was like not having that self-confidence. And you do have to charge express,
Right.
if it's your time and you're stressing and you get to do it, you let other things to work for it. And that is another thing you have to add to your price in Etsy. Etsy says you can mark your products when they're express or free shipping also. And so those are all little things you need to add to your price.
Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of rush fees, like the amount of time that you would have to put into it, between making it, packing it, and sending it to the post office, all of that takes time. Not to mention, you already have existing clients that didn't pay the rush fee, but they ordered before this person did. Now you're pushing all of those to the back and potentially, hurting those experiences as well. So all of that goes to show why you should charge a rush fee appropriately. Yes. So I think what I'm hearing for anyone who wants to do Etsy or any physical based product business, my recommendation is for you to create a a calculator, what your cost as the business owner is. And that would include the supplies, the profit margins that you want to make, but also consider the shipping, the electricity, your rent, how much it actually costs for you to keep the lights on every single day, and how much product you have to sell in order to get there. Any fee that you've heard on this call already, definitely throw that into the calculator. So your 3% fee, your 6.5% fee, credit card fees and all that, throw that in there and make sure that from there, that's like your base price for your wholesale products, right? Then there's like the retail pricing, which is double of what your wholesale price is. And that should be the number that you should list on Etsy, because now you're covering yourself for all of those potential fees and considering your profit margins to make sure that you are getting paid appropriately. And I hope that makes sense.
So it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but plug here for the Craft Academy. The Craft Academy has a huge module just based on pricing, because I like to say a business isn't a business if you're not making money. So we have a whole module based on pricing here. And I've actually created that calculator for you already. So we have all of those numbers that we threw out today. It's all in that calculator. So you can literally plug and chug everything that you need, and it spits out a number for what you should charge. And if it's too high, then don't add it. Like if you don't think people are going to pay that premium price, then maybe don't add it, or try it out and see if people do pay for it. And then at least if you sell something, it's covering your costs and expenses.
I wish I had that before, that table. Yeah,
well, because it's better late than never, though.
But that is what happens when you start. You don't start calculating like small stuff because you think, but you really have to do that, and it's
because in the beginning you're just thankful as an artist, right? You're just thankful that people want to pay money for this thing, which it's a really good feeling in the very beginning. But we strive for sustainability, right? We want to make sure that the business you're building is actually going to be a legacy business and something that's going to last beyond you. When you're selling, $2 place cards, it's a really quick way to not make any money and really just waste time in general. And then for anyone else who is interested in the Craft Academy or has never heard about it before, I've actually created the program just so that I can help other people, other calligraphers, not make the same mistakes that I did. When I started in 2018, I made tons of mistakes. Etsy was one of them. My mission now as an educator is to inspire other calligraphers to avoid those mistakes and reach success sooner. And we have Megan here as well. Michelle is one of those people. So we're super excited. If it can happen for Michelle, it can also happen for you. So definitely apply. Go to watercrafter.com/apply and we will hook you up with a complimentary coaching call and see if we can get you into the program.
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
No, having a coach.
So, yeah, go for it.
No, I would say if I would go back, I would definitely hire you, Rosie, because I know TCA also has product-based resources, and the program is also for people who want to do product-based, not only a service-based business. So it's really good. I'm very happy to have joined TCA and the community behind and all the girls. It's just wonderful. I wouldn't have done it without you girls.
Oh, thanks, Michelle. And we love having you. You're just a joy to have in all of our coaching calls and stuff. So we're really grateful to have you in the community as well.
Thank you.
So one more thing that I kind of wanted to touch on with Etsy and why we should avoid it when we're doing any kind of product-based business, it's that you don't have any connection to your customers. And I remember this so clearly, right? You cannot advertise your website or any other information through messages or anything like that. You cannot advertise your own personal website or information on your Etsy page. I think the best that you can do is create like a card or something to put into your package and just say, follow me on Instagram or find my website here, because Etsy can't manage or like track that. But if you have it on your listing, your Etsy profile, or anything like that, you can actually get banned from Etsy because they're trying to keep all of those customers on the Etsy platform itself. Is that your experience as well, Michelle?
Yes, definitely. And even the mails, they control mails. I had a lot of customers who didn't want to go through Etsy, and they would ask me, can I just pay you with another source or PayPal or something like this? And I would be like, oh my God, what if I was I wanted to respect the policy, but sometimes I would be like, why not? If I don't get this commission, I'm saving all this commission. That commission would be for me. So yeah, it's a good idea to add I had in my business card, my Instagram account, and my website, and the thank you card. And then that's how people would reach to me then on the private side. But
yeah, exactly. So one of the biggest things that I've learned being in the business for 5+ years now is that your mailing list is actually your number one converter and the thing that probably brings you the most money, because you can actually directly communicate with your customers that way. So if you have a new listing, new product, or you're running a sale, you can actually send an email directly to those clients, and then they'll know exactly what's happening in the business. If you're just advertising on Etsy or social media or Facebook, you're at the mercy of their algorithm. And that is 100% not the way to do it, because you're leaving your business in other people's hands. And that is not what we want to do, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have that email list.
So that's like the main thing. But yeah, in addition to that, when you're on, like, let's just say, for example, if you're on like Michelle's listing and you go to like other recommendations from Etsy, it's actually going to be other people's products instead of Michelle's products entirely. So they're advertising things that are similar items to like what Michelle would have been advertising, because they only care about sales. They don't actually care about the seller. Like, their number one goal is to make money regardless of if they're supporting that seller or not.
And the worst for me was also very disappointing that it's supposed to be a handmade platform and you can sell materials, but there's so many companies that they're listed as handmade and you could see the products and they're selling so much. They're huge companies and they're in there, and this is very disappointing for the artists who we try to do all by ourselves, our hands, and then handmade, of course. And then, I would like, sometimes there's a big company here from UK and they're in there and they sell like so much, and I would be so angry because I'm trying there and I cannot compete with them. How can you compete with the prices of a huge company who produces in China and then sells it in Etsy as a handmade product?
Right. Or like it'll be like a wholesaler or something, like they'll just buy secondhand products that are directly copied from a handmade someone who hand makes things, and then they'll sell it. Like they'll just buy it and then sell it. Yes. Yeah, it's just not a good model. And unfortunately, you are competing against those other people.
You have to be very strong there. You have to have a lot of self-confidence and not let down when things like this happen, and just go, don't stop. But those are little things that can affect you personally, also emotionally. And as an artist, emotions are very important. And yeah, that is one thing that I was disappointed about Etsy. It made me angry that I try my hard, working every day, and then a huge company comes and sells thousands of pieces of something it's produced automatically. So yeah,
that's so important. Okay, so I feel like we've gone through the Etsy route. We've talked the crap out of it. You've closed your Etsy shop. Yay!
Yeah.
What are you up to now?
Right.
Give us an update. You closed the Etsy shop in October. How are things looking for you now as a business?
I must say, great. I feel great. I don't have as much because it's Germany and there's not many events happening, not yet, but the ones I've had, they have been great. And every time I fall more in love with what I do. And yeah, I have to work a little bit more. Since I closed Etsy, I've taken things slower and I'm going with my pace. I cannot compare it to myself to other girls who do it like very fast. And I'm very happy. I niched down. I know what I want. I have a clear vision of who I want my clients to be and what I want to do. So I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. It's like I said, financially, maybe it's not there yet. It is, but it's coming. But my private, personal life, it's amazing. And that is for me the most important.
And that makes me so happy to hear. My heart is like exploding because of you. So I'm really, really happy. You've grown so much as a business owner, as a person, and I'm very lucky to be at the front seat of that and watch your transformation.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, just for anyone else who is listening, I feel like this whole interview has been full of tactical advice, but what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting a business?
Okay. Definitely get a coach. And Rosie. It's because the saying, not work harder, but smarter, and I was in this saying before, work hard, because that's how I grew up, watching my mother as an entrepreneur, working hard, and hard work would give. Now, no, because it's people like you that have expertise, guidance, and so you save a lot of time and costs, mistakes that you're saving a lot of mistakes when you have a coach, especially in this area of calligraphy. If you're going to go in this area of calligraphy and engraving and events. So definitely I would invest in a coach and also invest in all other skills. Learning, it's always a lifetime thing. And
I love it. So
I don't know my English.
That's okay. I think that was a perfect answer. So we have a lot of people who are in areas all over the world that, where calligraphy is not really big yet. And I would say that you and several others in Germany are kind of pioneering the way for that. So I know it has not been an easy journey. What would you say to someone who is trying to start the calligraphy industry in their area?
Well, like I said before, it's also a mindset. In the program, I learned this. It's beginning with the mindset and the community versus competition. And once you have this mindset, you have to, build network and know that the more we are, the more it's going to happen. So don't look at the others artists as a competence. It's like it's a community that we all have to grow together and that we support each other and give advices. And that's what it's about, because I feel here there are not too many events happening, but I feel if we're more, then companies are going to start thinking about making more events. It's for them. It's my English, Rosie, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I think what you're
it's a positive thing for the companies, right? Of course.
Even though, like, I'm in LA, we have a ton of competition here. We've got a lot of calligraphers. But I like to say that when there's more calligraphers, there's more opportunities, because we're all helping to spread the word. We're all creating the trend together instead of by yourself. If you're alone, then there's no one else to price compete against. The proof is not there. It's not as big of a trend because you're paving your way by yourself. But if you have other people in the area who's helping you, or even a community that is there to help support you in these more difficult times, that's only a positive in my head.
Yes. And to my experience, for example, my first live in Honduras, it was the first ever live. What happens is that this company has different stores and I was the only one. And they wish they had more, because then this event would be in all of their stores and they would boost their sales in all of their stores. So the girls in the other stores were complaining, oh yeah, this store in this mall is boosting her sales because Michelle is there, and they wanted to have another calligrapher, you know? Yeah. So that's why a company would consider more of the events if they can put more people in all their stores, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's why I think, why would a huge company, they have so many stores in many cities, if there would be a calligrapher for every store, mm-hmm. they would fully boost their sales. Or it depends on what their purpose is, but it's an example, you know? That's why I think the more we are, the more it's going to happen.
Yep, exactly. I 100% agree. 100%.
So, it's difficult when you are like me in a place where not much events are happening and it's only a few of us, but we have to get together and just try.
And you're sticking strong with everything, and we're making a lot of progress. I think we're much farther now 1 year later than we were last year. So, you know, we're making progress. It's a slow change, but we're getting there.
I feel now it's like events are happening more, and I'm getting with the website, I'm getting more leads because of the website. Yes, definitely. And also the pitching has been also very helpful from the program, I have to say. Funny is also that people have asked me, does Rosie program work in other parts of the world? I've had people ask me from other parts, and I say, I was a little bit at the beginning also thinking, it's an American style emails. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have to adapt them. The funny thing is that at the beginning, I had my husband translate everything and adapted to the German culture, and I had no responses. And then this year I said, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to follow what Rosie, because he's a man and he doesn't understand, you know, he's an artist too, but I was like, Rosie, her templates are so nice and it's all experience already. So I did it just like that. And then I got the leads. I got responses, you know, and I was like,
that's awesome. So, I love that.
It's really, I'm like, and last week I had an inquiry and it's in German. And I said to my husband, you know what, I want to try to respond in German this time. And he translated, and it doesn't sound like your template. Mm-hmm. And I said, if I don't get that lead, it's your fault. And I had to do it like Rose. Yeah, really. I was amazed. I see the difference. You know, your templates are really designed for this, for what we're looking for what we're pitching for our ideal clients. Maybe in some other countries, yes, of course, you have to adapt some words and then translate. But English, everybody speaks English also. So I'm just going with English right now at the moment.
I love that. And it's working better. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. I think that was super insightful and really helpful for people in different countries to see if the program really does work everywhere. And trust me when I say it does. You just have to trust the process and really start believing in yourself and you know, being able to take rejection, because part of being a business owner is accepting rejection and shifting your mindset and getting better at it every single day. So you're doing amazing, Michelle. And thank you for sharing your experiences with everyone on here. So I have one last question that I ask everyone.
Okay.
What advice would you give to yourself back in 2013 when you first started, knowing what you know now?
Oh, it's a hard question, but I come back to the same, you know, having a coach has been a game changer. And it's necessary. At this point or at that time, if I had some guidance who told me what to do, or not to tell me what to do, but to give me like a guidance, you know, I think it's the best investment you can do when you start a business. The experience is there. So like I say, you save a lot of time and mistakes that you don't have to do them. Yeah, and work on yourself, your self-confidence, and I don't know. I'm just get a coach, really. It makes everything much easier.
Yeah. Can I ask you, I know that was supposed to be the last question. did you consider hiring a coach when you first started, or was this something you wanted to figure out by yourself?
I always try myself because I thought I could do everything myself. I saw my mother doing everything herself, and I thought I can do everything myself too. But I heard the ideas of a coach always, but I didn't really know if I was going to help me on on the calligraphy or on the art. I didn't really know what a coach meant. And I didn't have time to look for a coach. I didn't have time to look for courses. I was always working. And I thought it was normal to work and be stressed. Right. I thought it was like part of it, working hard. So no, but then when I first found you, it was just in Instagram scrolling when I bought my engraver. Oh, wow, Rosie, your work is fabulous. Ugh, amazing. But I think you were not a coach at that time, and I was following other artists. And I had always the idea, do people use a coach to like grow on their business? It was like a light idea, but I was not really into it. I didn't know really.
Yeah.
And I didn't search either, but.
Yeah, now you know better.
No, funny is I follow these 3 of my favorite artists because I could relate to them at that time, and I saw a significant transformation in days, and I was like, I need to know what they're doing. And I went to the 3 of them and I said, what are you do? Do you have a coach or something? Yes, it's Rosie. And then I went to the other one. Do you have a coach or something? Because I see your website and your profile. Yes, it's Rosie. And I went to the 3rd one. And this was like in few days, really, and then Rosie, and I was like, I need to.
That is crazy. I had no idea.
It was amazing. It's like the 3 persons that I really related and I admired that I was following because I would connect to them because of what we were doing. I saw their transformation like 180 degrees. It was amazing. I was like, what is wrong? No, what is wrong? What is good here?
Yeah.
And I just asked. And the 3 said Rosie. And I said, oh my God, I had to get this Rosie girl.
Oh my God, that is so cool. I had no idea that you went through that. And that's just amazing. And we've transformed the business together. You've gotten way more work-life balance and being able to actually spend time with your loved ones. So that is just incredible. And, I still consider myself very lucky to have you in the program and to know you and get to know you and your family. And it's just been such a great process.
Yes, it's everybody here in my house loves Rosie.
I know.
They hear your voice. They know you already. My brother also knows you. Rosie says,
I know. We joke all the time that like the husbands are part of the program too.
Even my brother, he's an entrepreneur. And I say, but Rosie says this and this and that. And we have...
That is incredible.
No, you've been a very, very good influence in my life. I'm very happy, and that's what I say to whoever asks me, is the program worth? Yes, it is worth. And not only Rosie, the whole community behind. I'm so grateful for the girls. If I'm stressed or if I have a question, I just go in the group. Everybody answers immediately because of the timing or whatever, or I connect with others more than other ones because language or age or mothers, and they're also helpful. It's amazing. What you build is really great, Rosie. You should be very, very proud.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I mean, you are the main reason why I do what I do. I get to see you transform your entire business and start to live the life that you have designed for yourself. And that is my number one goal for everyone with the program. It's not just to help people make money, but it's to help change the livelihoods and make everyone happier, being able to live the life that you've designed for yourself and to feel fulfilled with your artistic creativity. That is my number one goal, and to inspire the next generation too, and to really uplift the industry as a whole.
And I think when you're like that, loving what you do, the money comes with, It's like it comes together when you're happy and you're making other people happy and giving. You will be recompensed. How do you say? I don't know. I think Christian should have been here and translate next time. I speak in Spanish.
No, that's okay. literally all, everything that you've said so far, I think we've all caught it. You did amazing with the interview, despite, having 3 languages going through your head. Like I can barely do just one language sometimes. So give yourself way more credit. You're doing incredible. So I think to close out the interview, with the transformation that Michelle has experienced, we're here to prove to you that our methods work no matter where you are, no matter how experienced you are, or what your skill set is. We can help you transform your business and really help to create that life that you really dreamed of. So if this interview resonated with you and you want to be a part of the Craft Academy and start living the life that you've created or you designed for yourself, come on over, send us a DM, slide into my Instagram DM, send me a message, or you can go to wandercrafter.com/apply and we can get on a complimentary coaching call. You'll either book it with me or my teammate named Tammy. We're both, super incredible, and we want to help you start working with your dream clients and building the business and the life of your dreams. So with that, come give us a shout out. Come meet us. We want to talk to you. We love meeting new creators all around the world. Michelle, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your experiences, taking the time to chat with us. We appreciate you. I think all of the information that we dropped on this interview is going to be so impactful. So thank you so much. And where can people find you if they want to learn more about you?
Well, first, thank you, Rosie, for having me here. And Instagram is Michi Letters, and my website is also Michi Letters.
Perfect.
There.
And then we'll drop that into the description once it gets converted into YouTube as well. Thank you so much, Michelle. This was amazing.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone else who joined in live. Have a good day.
Bye.